All right. Good morning, man. Fired up to be live into your life today. And I'm excited about this mentoring series. My friends, I'm excited to help you go to the next level as a leader. Maxwell says that everything rises and falls on leadership. And everything's a big word. Everything is a big word. That's not some things. That's not, a few things. That's not occasionally things. That's everything. And then it either rises and falls on our leadership. And so for us to go to the next level, we have to go to the next level. For things to change, we have to change. For things to get better, we have to get better. So I'm super excited that you're here. And we are going to, every Monday, 9 a.m. Mountain, 11 Eastern, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pour into your life. I'm going to see if I can add some value to you, to see if I can serve you, to see if I can help you to step into this next level of your personal leadership and go to the next level in your life. And I want to encourage you this to be active. So be in the chats, be in the comments. I know we're in different groups and so on. So be in the chats, be in the comments. Make sure you're in your notes. My friends, a dull pencil is more valuable than a sharp mind when it comes to note taking. It's better to have a dull pencil than a sharp mind. Take notes. The note may not change your life today. Like you take something and you're like, okay, that's interesting. But a week from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, I'm gonna share with you some notes that I took from an event that would have been about 15 years ago. And it's, I write the story that I'm gonna share with you today. It's a story that changed my life, and so your notes matter, participating matters, going back and forth, all this stuff matters. And I'm really excited for you. Can I start by telling you this? How much just admiration I have for you, how much respect I have for you. It makes me emotional because I know so many of you. You're chasing dreams, chasing goals. You're working to make stuff happen in your life. You're trying to make things happen, and right now for many of you it feels like it's just a dream, and you're in the struggle section. And so just want you to know how much admiration I have for you for being an entrepreneur, for going for it. Listen, my friends, I'd rather chase big dreams, go for big goals, and fail than do nothing with my life and succeed. So the fact that you're chasing, the fact that you're in the fight, the fact that you're making it happen, you're my kind of person. Just want you to know how much love and admiration I have for you. Okay, we're going to talk today. How do we go to the next level in our leadership? We're going to start today with a concept that I teach called the 3C success loop. 3C success loop. So write this in your notes. There's 3Cs, and it's a success loop. It's a loop that you can start to spin, almost like a tire can spin. And here's what's so interesting. This loop is the reason that in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, like as you cast out your life 10 years from now, how old will your children be 10 years from now? How old will you be 10 years from now? You start casting this thing out. Once you learn how to get into this success loop, man, you can you can crush your life and you can make things happen with a ton of speed. And by the way, it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to take 10 years. But Tony Robbins says it this way. He says, most of us overestimate what we can do in a year and we underestimate what we can do in 5 or 10. So as we talk about this 3C success loop, I want you to start to understand the power of this, the compounding power of this over time. Okay. All right. The first C is confidence. Confidence. Now, the foundation of your success is believing in yourself. I told you the story about my notes. So, man, what would that have been? It would have been about probably about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. My son was cleaning out our cold storage in our home, and he went and he found an old plastic box. Brings it upstairs, and I'm looking at this box, and I'm just kind of like, "Holy cow!" I was having this like totally surreal moment because it was all my old personal development CDs I used to listen to. Those of you that are super young, we didn't just all have it on social media, okay? So we had all these old CDs and stuff. I had all my old personal development books. Like when I was first starting in networking, this is 18 years ago, right? And the company had done an event that I went to. Now the event had a notebook that I'd taken my notes in. And as you know, the companies, they'll like theme the events. The event is called Ignite, or it's called Momentum, or it's called, Breakthrough, or whatever the event's called. So it was a themed event. I remember where I was. Now here's what's interesting. My business had just failed. I was below zero financially when I went to this event. I was back on credit cards, back on taxes. I was in a spot that my guess is some of you are in right now, where it was just all a dream. Meaning it was just all a hope that I could pull this off. I was definitely in the struggle section. I was definitely grinding, trying to make it happen. And when I wrote these notes, I was living in the loft above my wife's parents' garage. I had two babies sleeping in the closet. My wife was pregnant with our third child. Um, Man, I had two part-time jobs. I'd kiss my little kids in the morning when they were asleep because I'd leave early in the morning, and I'd kiss them at night when I got home because they'd all be asleep when I got home. I mean, it was just grinding and grinding and just hoping and praying and working. I was praying like it was all up to God, and I was working like it was all up to me. I was trying to make it all happen. And I'm reading these notes, and my friends, as I go, it'd be notes like you're reading right now, but 11 years later. Do you know what I'm saying? 10 years later. And I'm reading these notes, and I'm just turning it page after page after page. And I remember that speaker, and I remember her. I remember him. Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember when he said that. Remember how much I looked up to him. I remember thinking, if that guy can do it, I can do it. Have you ever had those? People are they're either aspirational. You either look at them like, man, I want to be like you when I grow up, or you're thinking to yourself, if she can do this, watch this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she can figure it out, I'm going to crush this. So I was having both of those emotions. And I'm reading these notes. I turn to the last page. Now, I'm sitting in the back of a room, 6,000 people. I had two people on my team that came to this event. By the way, both of them quit like a week later. So this isn't like I had two rock stars by any stretch. And I remember thinking I couldn't afford to be at the event. I remember thinking I didn't stay at the hotel that the event was at. I stayed at the one that was like 7 miles down the road that you don't dare take off your socks, like all the grimy carpet. And I just remember thinking, like, should I even keep trying to chase this thing? Whatever. Anyway, at the very bottom, and my friends, I want you to write this in your notes. In all caps, I wrote, I believe in myself. Whew, maybe emotional reading it, because I was like, dude, I wrote that down when I had really no reason to believe in me. My first business had failed. I had no college education, no professional background. I work at a mall kiosk. I'm working two part-time jobs. I'm like trying to be successful, but I don't know if I have what it takes. And I just remember thinking, you guys ever had that happen where you almost want to you almost wish you could go talk to yourself? I was almost like, good for you. I was thinking this to myself, like, good for you that you had some confidence in yourself. You had some confidence. My friends, I hope you have some confidence in yourself. The foundation of your success is believing in yourself. Do you believe in you? Do you remind yourself that you've done some hard things? You've overcome some hard things. You've overcome a lot of challenges. You've been through some tough times. So do you believe in you? Do you have confidence in you? Do you believe that you have what it takes? Do you believe that you can learn new skills? Do you believe that you can have some commitment in your life, right? That you just remind yourself, I believe in myself. Doggone it. I believe in myself, and I believe I'm going to figure it out. Now, listen, it's hard to get everyone else to believe in you if you won't even believe in you, if you won't even invest in yourself. By the way, people who believe in themselves invest in themselves. You're investing your time right now. That's because you believe in yourself. You would not be here if you didn't believe in yourself. You wouldn't invest the money either. The money, the resource, like I look back at the money that I've invested in myself, whether it was buying a book, whether it was buying one of those audio series, those CD series I used to listen to, or an online course, or going to an event, or buying coaching, or whatever it was, joining a mastermind, whatever it was. I did all that because I believed in myself. You know what I'm saying? People who believe in themselves invest in themselves. So that you do believe in yourself, because we're having this discussion. You're investing your time and your energy and your willpower right now to be here. So the first C is confidence. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you the next two C's, right? But let's just dig into confidence here for a second, because what do we do right now if you don't have any confidence? If we're just being 100% honest, you're like, I don't know if I have confidence in myself. I don't know if I believe in myself. My belief in myself is really low. My guess is some of you are feeling this, and I understand those feelings. We don't always start with 100% confidence, right? Sometimes we're like, I have 3% confidence, or I have 2% confidence, or I have 20%, or I have no confidence right now. Okay. What do we do? How do we get you moving forward where even if you don't have a ton of confidence, how do you go to the next level in your leadership, even when you don't feel a lot of confidence? Let me share with you 3 steps. Step number 1 is have courage. Have courage. Write this in your notes. Have courage. What is courage, my friends? Courage is when you take action when you don't have confidence. That's courage. And here's what I want you to know. The courage precedes confidence. Your courage precedes confidence. In other words, you start with courage, but if you start with enough courage, the courage will precede, it will come before the confidence. Then you get to a point where you actually have your own baseline of confidence. You're not doing things because you're courageous, you're doing things because you're confident. But you first have to move forward with just pure courage. Courage is doing the video when you don't feel like you're good at video. Courage is making the invite when you think you're terrible at invite. Courage is showing up at the gym when you feel like you're like, I don't look good. Like I do not look good. I don't even know for sure what to do. And I'm going to show up here and I'm going to get sore and I'm going to do my best. That's courage. Courage is saying, I'm sorry. Courage is, letting go of your ego and moving past some of those things that have been holding back. That's courage. That takes a ton of courage to do this stuff. It's not easy. I understand. But courage is how we get to building confidence. Courage is the foundation, the roots of getting to your foundation of confidence. So I share a story. Some of you guys have heard me share this about a guy named Benaniah. It's an old Bible character. Now, I got this from a book called Chase the Lion. Chase the Lion is a book written by Mark Batterson, who's a kind of a Christian author. And Mark Batterson says that he shares this story about a guy named Benaniah. Says that he chased a lion into a pit on a snowy day. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many people do you know in your circle of influence and in your life that chase lions into pits on snowy days? Not very many. So what does that make Benaniah, my friends? It makes him rare. Write this in your notes. Anything that's rare is more valuable. Anything that's rare is more valuable. So if a diamond's rare, it's more valuable. A painting, if it's rare, it's more valuable. A friendship that's rare is more valuable. A person that has courage is rare. And a person that has courage is more valuable. They're a next level in their life. Your home needs a mom and a dad with courage. Our country needs more people with courage. Your team needs someone with courage, a leader with courage. So the courage is this original foundation that gets people to where they actually can move forward when they're not confident yet. That's the courage, right? So we start with courage. The lion in Chase the Lion is the dream. The lion is the goal. The lion is the vision. So a person that has courage chases lions. They chase the dream. They chase the vision, even though they don't have a lot of courage or confidence yet that it's going to happen. Or they don't have a lot of confidence yet, but they still chase lions. They chase lions into pits on snowy days. My friends, that's you. You're a person of courage that chases lions. Are you with me? So you're a lion chaser. What does a lion chaser have? They have courage. So where do we start to build confidence? We start with courage. All right, number 2, shift your attitude. I want to encourage you to shift your attitude. We're going to have an attitude shift. I was doing a coaching, I had a coaching client over at my house. And dude walks in. The guy's a sharp guy. He's built like a freight train, but he's just going through some really, really, really hard times in his life right now. And his shoulders are down, chin's down. He's lost a bunch of money recently. I mean, he told me, he's like, dude, I got like a dark cloud around my life right now. Again, maybe some of you can relate to this. And as we were going through this, one of the first things we walked him through was shifting your attitude. So what does an attitude shift look like? My friends, you don't have to rank advance to shift your attitude. You don't have to sell something to shift your attitude. You don't have to make more money or less money to shift your attitude. You don't have to have a positive day to shift your attitude. You can shift your attitude because you choose to shift it. An attitude shift can happen just because you choose to make it happen. So what is an attitude shift? What if you show up with more energy right now? What if right now Brendon Burchard has what he calls door frame triggers. A door frame trigger. So imagine instead of like a negative trigger, it's a positive trigger. It triggers him to what he calls, write this in your notes, bring the joy. What if you're like, I'm going to show up with more positivity? Like when I see my kids today, mom is going to show up with some energy. When I see my spouse today, I'm going to give them a kiss and say, hey, listen, I love you. Like you shift your attitude. What if you brought more enthusiasm today? What if you brought more passion today? What if you made every single person that you talk to, just they're like, man, I like you. Like, I like me best when I'm with you. Like they like the experience they have with you because your attitude's so positive. Have you ever tried to coach a 15-year-old? Like a boy, you're like one of your kids, and it's like, oh no, mom, it's just stupid. You're like, bro, we got to shift your attitude here, dude. So the way that we build confidence, it starts with an attitude shift. And you realize, you remind yourself that you're in control of this stuff, that you're in control. No one's in control of you. You're in control of your own attitude. So we want to shift the attitude. So here's the question that you want to ask yourself. What attitude shift can I make right now that will move me closer to my goal? What attitude shift can you make right now to move you closer to your goal? By the way, sit up in your chair a little bit, right? Sit up. All right. Okay. Whew. Put your shoulders back. Put your chin up. This shifts the attitude. It shifts, in this case, your physiology, your body. But you say, I'm not gonna be pouty anymore. I'm not gonna blame today. I'm not gonna whine today. No more complaining for me. No more whine. I'm not gonna blame anyone. Nope. Not today. I'm gonna shift my attitude. I'm gonna take personal responsibility. Today, I'm gonna show up with some good energy. The gentleman I was telling you about, he left and he goes, he's a little bit hard on his kids. This guy, a little bit hard on his kids. And he left, and that day, instead of going home to his 17-year-old son and being like, son, make your bed, get out. What is, I said to him, I said, listen, dude, I said, if your son got ran over by a car today, you're not going to be talking about his bed. I said, go pull your son aside and tell him how much you love him. Go pull your son aside and tell him how much you care about him. I said, your son's a good kid, dude. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he shouldn't make the bed. And I'm not saying he shouldn't sleep in. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there's nothing we should work on. But he's a good kid. He's a good kid. And I said, make sure you go tell him. And I said, when you tell him, don't end it with, but son, I do want you to. I said, no, we're not going to give that speech. I said, you can give that speech later. He goes, yeah, but I'm honest. And I always want to be. I said, listen, dude, we can be honest later with the other half of it. Right now, when you just need to be honest with the shift your attitude, and you go tell him how much you love him and care about him. And he goes, I went home. He goes, it's changed the entire environment of my home. We had dinner together. I wasn't all up on edge. I wasn't, snapping at everybody. My friends, you can shift your attitude and change the entire environment of your day today. That's how you start building confidence. All right, that leads to number 3. Third step that we should do is take physical action. Take physical action. Here's the question you want to write in your notes, and here's the action you want to answer, or the question you want to answer. What is the next physical step that will move me towards my goals? What is the next physical step? What does physical step mean, by the way? Physical step means not something to think about, not something to go, pray about, not something to prepare for. My friends, take action. Physical step, physical. So what is it? Maybe the next physical step you need to do is you need to post on social media. Maybe the next physical step you need to do is get over your fear and get your butt on camera. Do a story today. You know what I'm saying? Golly, let's go. You say, but I don't look good. Have courage, shift your attitude, and take action. Let's go. Physical step. Okay. What's the next physical step for you? Maybe for you, what it is as soon as we're done, you hire a trainer. Maybe the next thing you need to do is go through your pantry and just cut out all the crap that you're eating at night, right? Just take all the stuff out. No more ice cream, no more cookies. We're just throwing it all away because our willpower gets beaten up during the day. We're going to take physical action. That's the next thing we're going to do because our goal is to get ourselves in better shape, take care of our body. What's the next physical step? Are you guys with me? Next physical step. You say, okay, my business, what's the next physical step? You want to know what it is in your business? Maybe for you, it's you make that call that you've been overly stressed out about. It's that chicken list call. That's the call today. We're reaching out to that person today. Physical step. What's the next physical step? Now, is it going to require courage? Yes. Step 1 is have courage. Step 2 is shift your attitude. Step 3, take action. Physical step, move forward. You start to create positive momentum in your life. Shift your attitude, take action. Shift your attitude, take action. Shift your attitude, take a physical step. Now, here's the point. It takes courage. That's step 1. But then you start to create some positive trajectory, positive movement in your life to move you towards your goals. That all builds confidence. Why? Because confidence is built, write this in your notes, on making and keeping commitments. Confidence is built by making and keeping commitments. You first make them to yourself, then it's commitments you start making to other people. When you make and keep commitments, when someone says, hey, if she tells you she'll be there, that's confidence. That's when you're like, that person says, hey, watch this. I'm going to go build a business. Hey, watch this. I'm going to go make this happen. Hey, watch this. I'm going to earn this much money this year. They have that much confidence they're going to go do it. It's because they're used to making and keeping commitments, that starts with courage, that starts with shifting your attitude, and it starts with learning how to take physical action with consistency. Okay, you guys with me so far? Okay, let's move to the next C. The next C. This is like, I'm teaching this literally from my book. So I'm in chapter 5 right now, right? So let's go to the next C. The next C is commitment. So confidence leads to commitment. Here's what I want you to write in your notes. Where there is no confidence, there is no commitment. Where there is no confidence, there is no commitment. What does that mean? Think of it this way. How much confidence would you have in something that, let me rephrase it. How committed would you be to something that you had no confidence in? So how committed would you be to an exercise plan when you had no confidence it's going to work? How committed would you be to your business plan if you had 0% confidence it's going to work? Not very much. Where there is no confidence, there is no commitment. So your confidence leads to commitment. The more confident you are in yourself and your ability to pull it off, the more committed you are. Okay. So what the biggest challenge is most people have a very up and down commitment. They're in, then they're out, then they're in, then they're back out. They watch a training. They're like, I'm back in. I love it. And then what happens, right? Customer says, I don't want to do this anymore. You're like, neither do I. We're out. We're kind of all out at this point. And then someone will listen to a YouTube. I'm back. I am in. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. And then what happens? The team member's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Neither do I. I hate it too. It sucks. So we're back in, then we're back out, we're back in, we're back out, we're back in, we're back out. Does this sound familiar? My friends, I've done this too. I'm not pointing fingers. I've absolutely done this too. By the way, I'm going to scoot up here. So I wish I could flip the camera around. There's 3 big, huge windows here. They're like door windows. And it's an electronic little blinds. And the freaking middle one's not working. So it's like, look at this, dude. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm like, I was clear back. Now I'm clear forward. So I'm here. All right, here we go. So check this out. So in math, what's the fastest way from A to B in math? What's the fastest way from A to B in math? It's a straight line. So write this in your notes. Straight line commitment. What does that mean? It means you get committed, stay committed, you go all in. Meaning you start to collapse how high you are and how low you are and how high you are and how low you are. John Wooden was the famous coach of UCLA basketball. And he said that when reporters came into his locker room after a game, he didn't want the reporters to know if the kids won or lost. They were just committed to the process. They weren't like super in, super out, super in, super high, super low. They were just in, right? Now, your vehicle can change, right? So I'll give you an example. Like my first company went out of business. The company itself went out of business. And that was painful. It was super painful. But I stayed committed to fortunately for me, because there was a time I was like, oh my gosh, I quit. But I stayed committed to the overall vision, the overall dream of building something significant for my family, of helping people, of adding value, the whole thing. So the vehicle can change, but the commitment level doesn't. I also want to point something else out. Those of you that are part-time, most of us are part-time when we start. I get it. Listen, you don't have to be all in commitment, straight line commitment. Doesn't mean you have to leave your job. That's not what I'm saying. It's an emotional commitment level. Are you following? It's not like I have to put 23 hours a day in this to be committed. No. You're emotionally all in. You're committed to your vision. You're committed to your dreams. You're committed to your goals. When you work your business for that 20 minutes today and the 1 hour tomorrow and the 2 hours the next day and the 30 minutes the next day, you're all in for those 20 minutes, but you're always emotionally all in. Does that make sense? The difference there? So it doesn't have to be that you go quit your job tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying. It's you can be completely committed to something, even though you only can give it so much time right now. Okay. 3 ways we build your commitment. Number 1 is trust the process. Step 1 is trust the process. What is the process? I want to encourage you under trust the process. We're going to write 3 words. Okay. Dream, struggle, victory. Dream, struggle, victory. What does that mean? Here's how the process works. If you have a dream, like in this case, a big dream, you have signed yourself up for a struggle that's equal to or commensurate to the size of the dream, and a victory that's equal to or commensurate to the size of the struggle. So what we want in life is, big dreams, super small struggles, big, huge victories. That's not how it works. They're equal. They're commensurate. So if you have a big dream, you'll sign yourself up for a struggle equal to. If you want a small struggle, that's okay too. You just have to have a small dream and a small victory. You get to choose this stuff. So remember, those of you that have big dreams, you have big goals, you're chasing life, making things happen for yourself. And you're like, dude, here I am in the struggle. Don't curse the process. You got to trust the process. You say, this is where I am. And you say, you say to yourself, the advice I would give you is take good notes during the struggle. Do you want to know why? People will relate more to your struggles than your victories. So take good notes right now. But remember, your story is not the story of the struggle. Your story is how you overcame the struggle, because no one wants to hear the story that ends in the struggle. We all want to hear, how did you overcome this? How did you make it through this? How did you make it happen? Imagine if I'm still living in the loft of my wife's parents' garage 18 years later. You'd be like, so you got there when the business failed and you're still there? Like, ooh, I don't know if I want to listen to your Zoom, like we want to listen to it when someone's like, so then how did you make it out, dude? Walk me through the rest of the story. Okay. Number 2 is never quit on a bad day. Never quit on a bad day. Now, this one's more of a mindset philosophy than maybe a way to take action, but you get committed, stay committed, and you just choose to never quit on a bad day. My friends, you never quit your eating program on a bad day. You never quit. Maybe you just fell off the wagon. You're like, but that's okay. Get back on the wagon. You know what I'm saying? You say, I'm quitting my marriage. No, not on a bad day, not after a fight. Like you just don't quit on bad days because your head's not clear. You're just not in a good headspace. You say, screw this business. I'm never doing this again. Like 5 people canceled. My rank fell apart. The team member quit. I quit. No, not on bad days. We never quit on bad days. We just simply make it a mantra to ourselves of like, I never quit my job on a bad day, my business on a bad day, my marriage on a bad day, my fitness plan on a bad day. My friends, you never quit your life on bad days. We all have bad days. The sun's coming up in the east tomorrow. We're going to get through this. You're going to get through the challenges of it. You just don't quit on bad days. If you want to move on to something else in your life, that's okay. Just do it when your head's clear with good strategy, clear strategy. You don't do it on bad days. Number 3 is you persist until you succeed. Write the word until in your notes. My friends, the word until will guarantee your success. I will persist until I succeed. Og Mandino wrote the famous book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. Scroll number 3 was, I will persist until I succeed. University of Pennsylvania did a study, 350,000 participants, 22-year study. They said that there was a thinking pattern that began to emerge with successful people that was that they were optimistic. They were optimists, right? They said there's 2 characteristics. Characteristic number 1 is that they had unrealistic expectations they would be successful. How interesting is that? Unrealistic expectations. Second characteristic is they tried new things until they succeeded. That's you. You try new things until you succeed. You persist until you succeed. Most people, guess how long they persist? Until it gets hard, until someone quits, until it gets hot. That's how long they persist, not you. You persist for how long, my friends? Until you succeed. That's how long you persist. You try new things until what? Until you succeed. That's what successful people do. Over 350,000 of over 22 years when they study them, they just kept trying new things until they succeeded. When you're trying to go through the wall, I'm not a proponent of just bang your head against the wall and just hope that something, listen, hope's not a strategy. Write this in your notes. Hope's not a strategy. Maybe we need to go over the wall. Maybe we need to try and go under the wall. Maybe we need to try and go to the right side of the wall. Maybe go to the left side of the wall. Maybe what we need to do is bring some other people to help us build a team, and the team can help us crack it down. Maybe what we do is get better tools and we find the weak spot of the wall. We punch a hole through it. The point is, don't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over, hoping it's going to change. No, you persist until you succeed, which means you adapt until you succeed. You adjust until you succeed. You read the book until you succeed. You listen to the podcast. You go to the event. Until when? Well, until you succeed. That's what successful people do, and that's who you are, and that's what commitment looks like. You're just in. You get committed, stay committed, go all in. Write this in your notes. There's no lukewarm winners. There's no lukewarm winners. You don't become a winner by being kind of half in, half out all the time. One foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. You're either in or out, on or off, full tilt or not in at all. Like, get committed, stay committed, straight line. I'm just not going to be up and then down, then up. Then just listen, I'm in. I'm just going to go do this thing. I'm just going to be in. And I know that there's these moments. That's why we never quit on the bad days. We all have them, but we get committed, stay committed. We go all in, and we trust this process that there's a dream, there's a struggle, there's a victory. And I'm going to get through this to get to the victory part because I'm going to persist through the struggle part. Okay. Number 3. Is this helpful? We have one more. All right. So confidence is the foundation of your success, believing in yourself. That leads to commitment. Commitment is what? Where there is no confidence, there is no commitment. Commitment is straight line commitment. That leads to number 3, which is competence. Competence. Next to competence, I want you to write the word skills. This is where we actually improve. We just get better. We don't hope that things are going to change. We make things change. We get better. So what was that? It was last year in the fall, early September. I went to Miami for a personal development event. And I'm at the event, and my younger brother calls me. He's 2 years younger than me. His name's Travis. He calls me and he goes, dude, don't leave. I'm like, don't leave where? He goes, don't leave Florida. I'm like, okay, what's up? He goes, the University of Utah, which is my college football team I vote for. By the way, write in the chat, who is your sports team? And if you're like, I don't care, who's your husband's sports team, your kid's sports team, right? But I grew up, my grandpa played for the University of Utah, so you know how it is. You kind of just grow up cheering for who you cheer for. So he says to me, the University of Utah is playing Florida, the Florida Gators at the Swamp. So the Swamp's this famous stadium, right, that Florida plays at. And he goes, you should drive across the state and then come meet me for the game. So I call my wife, yo, you good? She goes, yeah, that's great. Go for it. I call my sister, hey, we get us some tickets. She says, no problem. So I drive across the state after this event and I go meet my brother for the game. We go to the game. The tickets she buys, this is a true story. They're on the 50-yard line, row number 1 on the Florida side. I mean, it was like you turn around like this. It was just all the stadium just right on top of you like this. They call it the Swamp. These guys never sit down. They're just screaming the whole time. And we're on the Florida side. We're the only 2 guys wearing, they're all wearing like the Florida blue and we're wearing, Utah red, right? And they were super cool, super fun, atmosphere, kind of fun group. And I was so close to the players. I'm like right on the front line. Like the thing is like here, and then here's the players and the trainers and so on. I noticed something really interesting. Every one of the players on their jerseys, on their wristbands, on their, the handkerchiefs, like the towels they had on their jerseys, every player, every coach, every trainer, every bag, every shoe, every jacket, all had an interesting logo on it. It all had the Jordan Jumpman logo. And I thought to myself, Jordan didn't play basketball. He played football, or didn't play football. I'm so sorry. He played basketball. Jordan was known for winning 6 NBA championships, meaning professional. Here we are at a college game. Jordan played 30 years ago when I was, growing up watching. Maybe some of you were too. And here I am watching these kids, these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that all have the Jordan Jumpman logo, and it's pretty cool to have it on. They all look awesome. Why are they all wearing the Jordan Jumpman? Do you want to know the reason why, my friends? It's because he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Now, what made him the GOAT? It was his competence, meaning this. He built skill above the talent. Your talent's your floor, your skills are the ceiling. So Jordan was 6'6". Now, compared to all of us, that's pretty tall. In the NBA, that's average. So that's talent. His talent was 6, that was his God-given 6'6". He built skill above the talent. Jordan was quick, but he wasn't the quickest player in the NBA. So that was his talent. It was quickness. He built skill above the talent. He could jump through the roof, but there was other players that could jump through the roof. So he built skill above his talent. Jordan was meticulous on the skill development. So like his shot fake was 6 inches, not 7, not 5. In other words, he didn't say, well, dude, I'm quicker than everybody else. I'll just jump over you. No, he didn't do that. He was meticulous on the shot fake. His jab step was 6 inches, just right on the dot of where it's supposed to be, not 5 inches, not 7, not like, I don't even care. Dude, look how talented I am. I'm Jordan. I can do what I want. No. He built skill above the talent. Your talent, your floor, your skills, the ceiling. You start building new skills. What happens in our business? Well, in our business, people come in and they build on their basic talent. Like we all have kind of this baseline of talent, baseline of knowledge, and baseline of credibility, and baseline of like, pull power. Maybe when you get on video, we do some videos and it's kind of just a baseline. In fact, we even say things like this: I am who I am. So just whatever, like get over it. Okay. Well, is that serving you, that identity? Like the I am who I am? Remember that coaching client that's kind of rough on his kid? He did this thing. He's like, well, I'm just kind of skeptical of coaching groups. I'm kind of skeptical of these events. I said, okay, cool. So let me ask you this. I said, is that belief in that identity still serving you? Like that you're just so skeptical? Like, is that really helping you at this point? Like, you need to change. You agree. I've been working, we've been friends for 3 years now. You haven't changed. In fact, it's gotten worse, but yet you kind of hermit yourself down because your pride and your ego and whatever are too skeptical. Like, is that really serving you at this point? No, it's not. So what I'm sharing with you is this: don't hunker down on I am who I am. Just like, dude, it's just me. If you don't like it, no. The person's like, if I offend you, then sorry, it's just who I am. No, you're lazy in language is what you are. You're not willing to grow to the next level. You're not willing to build new skills. And yet you just we all have to adjust to how lazy you are at your skill development. So what I'm sharing with you is don't be that person. Be the person that's like, yo, I'm building new skills. I'm improving. I'm getting better. Like my skills, I don't rely just on the talent. Listen, if Michael Jordan doesn't rely just on talent, you probably shouldn't either. You know what I'm saying? This dude had talent coming out of his ears, but what made him the GOAT was he built skills above the talent. That's competence. Now, check this out. What happens when you become highly competent at what you do, meaning highly skilled? What happens? It feeds or it circles into what? Into confidence. The confidence creates more commitment. The commitment creates what? More competence, which drives more confidence, which drives more commitment, which drives more competence, which more skill sets, drives even more confidence. And all of a sudden, boom, you start to spin this success loop. You're really good at what you do because now you become even more confident. And then now you're even more committed to your dreams and goals. And then, man, you even become better at it. And then you become more confident, which now you're even more committed, which you're now even better at it again. You become more confident and just starts to spin. That's why you watch people, their life just goes like this. You're like, what has happened to you in the last year, the last 5 years, last 10 years? Like, dude, you're killing life. It's because they raised their competency, and their competency fed their confidence. Their confidence fed their commitment. Their commitment built more competence. Boom, they start to spin that loop. So how do we become more competent? Let me give you 3 quick strategies of what you can do. Step number 1 is schedule time for skill development. You want to schedule time for skill development. My friends, don't hope that you're just going to like improve. You know what I'm saying? Hope is not a strategy. You got to schedule this stuff in, plan it. Every morning from 6:30 to 7, every single morning, I have time for skill development. Right now, I'm going through a book called Buy Back Your Time. I'm going through to like really help to create additional leverage, additional skill in my business, right? So I don't just hope this stuff happens. I have time. You schedule this in. So here's my question: when can you schedule skill development in? When are you going to read the book? When are you going to work on the soft skill of listening and asking questions? These are things that you study. This is things that you learn. You don't just do your baseline talent. No, you start to learn how to become better at asking questions. Start to become better at listening. Start to become better at being more empathetic. This is stuff that you can actually do. You can learn this stuff. Are you with me? When are you going to schedule the time? Find the time to make this happen. Number 2 is you want to seek feedback. You want to look for feedback. Find feedback. Most of us, we don't love this because we don't love constructive feedback or constructive criticism. It's not that fun. You want to actually seek it. And there's a Japanese word called the Shoshin principle or Shoshin mentality. It's a beginner's mindset. It's what they call a white belt mindset. You're a black belt. You have that much talent, and yet you're still looking to improve. That's a Shoshin mentality. That's a white belt mentality. You're trying to like get that shot fake where it's just perfect, 6 inches. You don't go all the way over and kind of get off balance. Your balance is perfect. Everything is skill above talent. Number 3, step 3 of how you build competency is you prepare with excellence. How do you build more skills? You become more prepared. The more preparation you put in, the more competent you're going to come across, whether it's for your next Zoom, your next training, that next invite. Make sure you're prepared. Churchill, they said that for every hour he spoke, or I'm so sorry, for every minute he spoke, he had an hour in preparation. And Bobby Knight, check this out. Bobby Knight was the one, a famous Indiana basketball coach. He coached Jordan in the Olympics. He said, the key is not the will to win. Everybody has that. That's almost like the talent. Everyone has talent. It's not the will to win. Everyone has that. It's the will to prepare to win that's important. So let me say that again. It's not the will to win. Everyone has that. It's the will to prepare to win that's important. My friends, your preparation, like you get more prepared next time. You know what I'm saying? That next time you get a chance to talk, you're more prepared. That's how you build competency. The competency will create more confidence. The confidence creates more commitment. The commitment creates more competence, which is the skills. Those build more confidence because now you're actually becoming good at what you do. Then that builds more commitment. You're like, man, if I'm so good at this, I'm going to really double down. Then you become even better at it with your competency. You have a Soshin mentality. I don't know it all. I'm still hungry. I'm still humble. I'm still learning. That builds more confidence, which builds more commitment, which builds more competency, and it starts to spin the loop. And you start to make your life where people cannot recognize your life 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now. You can't recognize your life because your confidence, your commitment, and your competency, the 3C success loop. I hope that was helpful for you. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see you next Monday. I'm fired up to be able to pour into you. I actually just took you through chapter 5 of my new book, and I hope that it served you. I hope that it's helpful for you to say, all right, let's go do this. So here's our takeaway notes. Courage. Courage. If you're not feeling confident today, what do we do first, my friends? Lean into your courage. Have courage. What is the next physical step? Shift your attitude. Next physical step. Get into action. What attitude shift can you make right now to get yourself into like, all right, let's go do this thing. And then that leads into your commitment level or your commitment level. You get highly committed, get committed, stay committed, no lukewarm winners. And then where can we start to become more competent? What is the next skill you need to learn? So have courage today to get into the loop. Have courage today to get started. So I love you guys. I'm so proud of you and cannot wait to see you next Monday. Talk soon.